All right, a little real talk here. We only partner with companies that genuinely solve problems for indie agency news members. No fluff, just proven expertise. So here's a reality check for indie agencies. You got a campaign concept that needs celebrity talent, an athlete partnership, influencer access, or maybe the perfect music track, but you're stuck guessing who's available and what it'll cost. That's where our exclusive category partner, Abalone Partners, comes in. With over 20 years of entertainment industry relationships, they help agencies like yours stop winging it and start winning. They'll tell you what's realistic before you pitch. Get your calls returned by people who usually ghost and negotiate deals weeks faster than you do alone. Ready to stop guessing? Visit abalonepartners.com.
Hey, how you doing? This is Kyle O'Brien. I am managing editor here at Indie Agency News. Thank you for joining us. Quick housekeeping note, we are starting to run out of tickets for the Chicago Summit. So if you want to go to the Chicago Summit, please do. And please go to our site and it'll click you through from there. And we would love to see you there. It's going to be a great event. All right. But today we are talking going back to back wins. And we're going down to Franklin, Tennessee, the beautiful town of Franklin, Tennessee, where Kite launched in late 2024. By early 2025, they were the most awarded agency at the Nashville AAF Awards. By 2026, they did it again. Best of Show, 2 years running, which is, again, what we were talking about today. So the work spans a nonprofit fighting the global water crisis, a FinTech app that resurrected King Tut as its spokesperson, and a financial services firm that planted a fake UFO abduction insurance ad in the New York Times. All of it made by a small indie shop with a Ben Franklin obsession. We've seen that firsthand. And zero interest in playing it safe. Alex Goulart is the founder and ECD. He's here to talk with us about how all this happened. Alex, how you doing?
Doing well, Kyle. Very happy to be speaking with you this morning.
Yeah, wonderful. How are things in beautiful Franklin, Tennessee?
Looks pretty good. Lots of trees. Happy to be here. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, so let's just give me a little bit of the background on how this happened. Obviously, you guys have 2 wins in a row, but let's set the stage for me and how everything happened.
Sure. Yeah. We launched, like you said, late 2024. We had established a relationship with McIlvaney Financial Group, and they asked us to launch their gold and silver app, Vaulted. We created a brand platform for that and launched a brand campaign in the fall of 2024. And that turned out really, really nicely, did really well for them, and went on to win Best of Show at the Nashville Addies. So that was just remarkable for our team. We had really just got going, and the first campaign was a big hit that gave us a lot of wind in our sails. And then from there, we continue to do more work for Vaulted, more work for McIlvaney Financial Group as a whole, with the other brands that they have. And then have expanded in 2025, working more with Charity Water, nonprofit that builds wells in developing countries, working with a couple of other clients too, but those were our 2 big clients. And then just since then, we've just been really blessed to get some great opportunities with both of those companies to do some great stuff, we feel. And then again, at this year's Addies a month ago, that stuff was awarded, and we came out with Best of Show and a bunch of other pieces of glass as well. So great momentum at the moment, and very grateful to the team and the clients who've trusted us with their brands.
That's fantastic. All right, well, let's take a look at the first spot. This is you brought King Tut back to life, and we'll see the spot, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Ever heard of the aluminum rule? I didn't think so. It's gotta be gold. You know gold. The thing people do backflips for. And hope they find in their chocolate. You pan for it. You play for it. You dress for it. You trek for it. And when you get it, you lock it up. Like, really lock it up. Interesting. You flaunt it. You flash it. A goose that lays golden eggs? Oh, you want one. You pull it out when you want to get really serious. The man with a Midas touch. Mom! A little ancient history. The police, the parachute, the handshake, the handcuffs. Anyone remember these? Nothing's more golden than gold.
That is fun. That is fun. I mean, most people, the only time you really see gold is like, hey, you can trade in your gold jewelry to get money, and it's usually so cheeseball and so like late night TV. So, how did you elevate a product that should be elevated in the first place? So talk a bit about the creative behind this.
Yeah, I think with that, strategically at the beginning, we really wanted to focus on as you said. Approaching the gold industry differently. There's a whole lot of talk about, hedging your portfolio, diversification, a lot of fear mongering. We took a look at the competition and said, how can we do things differently with this brand? And this just insight that, gold, there's no precious metal more precious than gold. It's celebrated in pop culture, but none of the competition was talking about gold as a symbol. It was all just about the financials. So we took that space and we leaned all the way into it, and it made sense to bring back King Tut as someone who was literally buried in gobs of gold. And that's created a really strong brand platform for us. We've taken the King Tut spokesman across social. He does a weekly Nuggets of Wisdom email, which is a heck of a lot of fun to write. We actually won a Silver Addy for copywriting for King Tut just in the emails.
Nice.
Because now that we established that brand platform, it just runs and runs. So it's kind of gift that keeps giving, this gold. Yeah.
Excellent. Did you want to see the next spot, or you want to talk a little bit about the craft behind it?
Yeah. So, for the next spot, which won this year's Best of Broadcast, the client had a program. They were giving away $50 of free gold if you invested with a vault plan into vaulted $50 a month. At the end of 6 months, you get $50. So the brief was, there's free gold available. Our insight was that, well, free gold never happens. It's gold. Nobody gives away free gold, except we are now. So that was kind of the strategic insight. And then creatively, it sort of wrote itself. Craft and production. In that first spot you saw, we mixed a lot of things. There was stock footage, live action, and AI all mixed together. Mm-hmm. This spot is mostly live action. And there was a couple of spots in the campaign, but this is the one that won Best of Broadcast.
Gotcha. Here it is.
I didn't get here overnight. And my success is certainly no accident. You see, most people don't have what it takes to get gold.
Gold is actually free with Vaulted. Just sign up for a vault plan, invest for 6 months, and boom, $50 of free gold.
Wait, so I don't have to...
Nope. But hey, good cardio. Do you do private lessons?
So much fun. Yeah. So, all right. So talk a little bit about with both these spots and with the campaign itself, talk about how some of the things you went through to get it made. I mean, you said that one was mostly live, which is great. It must be hard to have a painted person in a pool, I would imagine.
Yes. We were wondering if the suit would hold, would hold up. It got pretty moldy by the end of it. And actually that paint oxidizes. We took Chris Guerra is the actor who plays King Tut. He's a phenomenal improv actor. I'll give a shout out to Oddity Improv in Franklin, Tennessee. He runs an improv house down here. So he's our King Tut. We've taken him around. We took him to a Denver Nuggets game actually in late 2024 because gold threw him behind home bench, and he got picked up by the announcers and kind of upstaged the mountain lion mascot that they have. But we noticed that when he was in the gold for too long, especially on a hot day, he starts to turn green. So a green King Tut doesn't appeal as much as a shining gold one. And in the pool, the chlorine and all that. So yeah, some limitations there. We were testing it out, but it's really a lot of fun making any work for this campaign. As you can imagine, there was a ton of alt lines. So when we had our swimmer and King Tut, lined up in that end shot, we were just trying all kinds of lines. I mean, we have whole outtakes of him pulling this guy. It's like, all right, triceps. Like, in the end, what stuck was, hey, it's good cardio. And then he takes that sip of that margarita, and you can hear him say, do you do private lessons? And that one was just the best line. We had so much fun just riffing. And even for that original spot back in 2024, there was tons of odd lines. So it just continues to be a whole lot of fun. It's its own lane.
Right.
And so it's a really clear campaign. And as we're working now more with the parent company, McIlvaney Financial Group, we've got some like strategic decisions we've got to make about how that brand behaves, how that's different from Vaulted. It's a different market, a bit older, people used to calling their advisor. It's not quite the DIY, buy gold and silver off your phone. So, we can't repeat that for the other brands. So strategy just continues to be really key as we set up the next thing for that client.
Right. So, I mean, talk a little bit about the specifics. How is it, being an indie agency and trying to get something of this scope made, and then having to keep developing it, and how does that process work, and how has the client kind of helped you kind of reach that next level, and so you can produce this award-winning work?
Yeah, I was reflecting on that just the last couple of days. I think what has proven successful is just the clients we're working with, they tend to be founder-led. So both with McIlvaney, it's run by David McIlvaney, he's the son of Don McIlvaney, who founded the company in the early 70s. And then with Charity Water, it's run by Scott Harrison, quite a kind of well-known speaker in this space. But both of those guys are very directly involved in what they're doing as far as marketing. And I think one of the questions that was kind of set up before this was, how do you convince clients to not take the safe option? I think with some of these founders, they're already allergic to the safe option from the beginning. I don't have to do too much to say, hey, we should do something audacious and different. They want to stay clear of that from the beginning because they're so invested in their brand. They have so much skin in the game. That's their starting point. So I think they're just looking for someone to competently guide them into some uncharted waters, as opposed to me starting from, hey, why don't we do something creative? They want to, but they want to, if they want to feel safe about anything, it's, I got a team that's going to well. So I feel a huge responsibility to clients like that, who are not sort of occupying a CMO position for a couple of years. They're in it, and in it for the long haul, and that really helps the dynamic with us.
Absolutely. So talk a little bit about this, the fake UFO ad, and I mean, how do you please explain it a little first, and then tell me how do you get them to sign off on that?
Yeah, that was pretty wild. So just for a bit of context, that was one of the other campaigns we did for so the master brand of McIlvaney Financial Group. They have a gold IRA. Gold IRA is already boring. I can see people just signing off from this feed. Gold IRA, I'm done. Not interesting. Gold IRAs. So you're talking to people who are approaching retirement, and the idea is, take a bunch of your money from your stocks, your retirement portfolio, move it into a gold IRA. So our insight with that campaign was reframing a gold IRA as wealth insurance, because you wouldn't hesitate to get insurance for your car, home, health. What about your wealth? The money you've spent decades creating. It's your nest egg. Right. I think you have this approach to that. So that was the beginning of the thought, wealth insurance. So with that, we started looking into the types of insurance people take out. And there's some really wacky ones, including alien abduction insurance. There's actually a company in Florida, 1,000 people who are protected against being tracked or beamed into a spaceship at any given time, day or night.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's quite interesting, those programs. I think they pay you up to $20 million, but it's $1 a year for the next 20 million. And it's such a scam. But in any case, it's a real policy. So we ran with that. The 60-second spot shows an alien abduction and a bunch of other crazy scenes related to insurance. But specifically in the Wall Street Journal and New York Times, we ran an ad that said, get alien abduction insurance before they get you. Call 1-833-NO PROBE, which was the highlight of the year, putting no probe into a major newspaper. Anyway, and just the look and feel of the ad was sort of lo-fi and weird, and obviously didn't look like a regular ad. And people called that number, and it was a voicemail from David McIlvaney, the CEO, saying, hey, if you really think you need protection against alien abductions, we need to have a conversation. Yes, you could get tractor beamed into a spaceship. There's an outside chance that could happen, but there's more chance that your retirement will get tractor beamed away in the next few years based on market trends, blah, blah, blah. Press 1 to speak to a financial advisor. So it was a misdirect ad, and that's kind of the thinking behind it. A lot of fun. We had a whole bunch of phone calls. Some people were genuinely interested in alien abduction insurance. No talking them off the ledge. They called for alien abduction insurance. They didn't like that it was a misdirect, but we did get a lot of other people calling and talking to advisors through it. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, there you got Olympic gold as well. So, talk a little bit about
Yeah,
about
I
that.
wanted to talk about this because I think the point here is that I think once the client has trusted you with this foundational work, as we've done with Vaulted, I think we're going to more audacious levels. People probably get sick of me saying the word audacious, but that's what we strive for at Firekite: audacious creativity, as
Right.
inspired by Ben Franklin and our obsession with his experiment. So this is a really interesting, very PR heavy campaign that we've got, and it's not really a campaign; it's more of just an initiative. We observed that the gold medals that are handed out at the Winter Games, Summer Games, they're not real gold, not at all. They're gold plated. They're 6 grams of gold. It's a bit of a scam. And even actually, as we've dug into it, the athletes don't like it. It feels like a bit of an insult. These are the top athletes in the world. They're the pinnacle of human achievement in their sport, and they get handed a trinket that's plated in gold. It's not even worth as much as the silver. Wow. So we took this idea to our client and said, hey, Vaulted should be the company to stand up and say, this isn't right. Let's go some way towards fixing this. So the client got on board with offering $30,000 of real gold to every first place finish. So we're now in conversations with, can't say who yet, but a number of the gold winners from the Winter Games. Lauren Williams here she was the first woman to medal in both the Summer and Winter Olympics. She's now a certified financial planner for Olympic athletes. That's what she does, is she advises them on their finances. So she's partnered with us as a subject matter expert. She's in this article. This is Parade. The whole thing was in Complex this week. There's more stuff coming out around that. So this is just a really fun piece where it's very much PR heavy. We've got a great PR person who we met through you guys, actually.
Great. We love hearing that.
Shout out to IAN for connecting people together. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
And that's going to just be developing over time. But the insight was right, and the client was brave, and the client I felt that they were in good hands for us to do something like this and trust us with it. They're on the hook to shell out quite a lot of money at 30 grand a pop. There's 12 medals, and there's a giveaway for customers, for regular folks online on Instagram. I'll mention that. If you go to Instagram on Vaulted, you've got a chance of winning $30,000 of gold. So anyway, that's just kind of what we're doing with this brand, and just the brand platform of establishing gold as being such a valuable asset. You can keep making that point in different ways, and now into a PR thing that's very much existing in culture. And I think it dovetails with the conversation around athletes contribute, compensation. A lot of them are in debt. There's stories of athletes like living out of their cars. There's donations to get them to travel. So this feels like it brings together a lot of kind of aspects of what's in culture, what's right for the brand, and a lot of fun. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're able to have fun with this, but there is a serious side too. And so this campaign has managed to bring out kind of all sides of what gold is. Yeah, sure, you can have fun with it, but there's also the stark reality of it. And I think in doing so, you create a very well-rounded campaign that speaks to all sides of what it means to invest in gold. So, yeah. All right, let's switch to. Let's switch to your charity water. So do you want to just play a spot and then we can talk?
Yeah, let's play it.
All right, let's play it.
Labor Day is coming up. You got any plans?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep. That's what I want to do.
Steven, what are you doing on Labor Day?
I would probably go for a walk, take a hike somewhere beautiful.
I'm going to spend some time with my friends, probably be outside.
Yeah, we're gonna spend some time at the lake this Labor Day and enjoy the water. Just a beautiful time of year to be outside.
Probably relax, go to happy hour and grab a drink with friends.
Our Labor Days are pretty chill. I like to just relax, put my feet up, and just enjoy the downtime as much as possible.
Wow, really effective. So how did you hook up with Charity Water, and what led to this work?
Yeah, My wife has done CEO of Charity Water since before we were married, 16 years ago. I think she's done it for 20 years. She was at their first event in New York where they were founded, where Scott Harrison basically started a movement around donate your birthday, which was he said, hey, it's my birthday, but don't give me a gift, just donate some money to Charity Water. And actually that became a really long running theme and campaign, has been imitated by other nonprofits, actually, that whole thing. But in any case, she knew him. I've got to know him in the last few years. So a relationship has just grown naturally from that. It wasn't as a pitch process or RFP. That's somebody we knew. And we began working with them, did another campaign that won at this year's Addies, which was Sleep for Water, which was a campaign to donate the hours you sleep for water, where you could set the hours and the cents you want to donate per hour, and did a whole campaign around that with animation. That was a bigger World Water Day campaign. That was a really big piece. But this one, because we have this ongoing relationship with Charity Water and their team, we're just thinking about ideas all the time, and we bring them proactive stuff. And this was a proactive piece where I was thinking about this. I'm always thinking in the shower, probably wasting water in the shower. There's an irony to that, I suppose.
The irony, yes.
but the idea of Labor Day was coming up. I think it was probably early August last year, and I just got fixated with the idea of labor, and people who are walking for water are continually laboring, and there's no rest for them. And so the idea just sort of crystallized that this juxtaposition of talking about Labor Day plans in a very casual way, which we're all used to doing, juxtaposed with the footage of walking for water, would create a very stark contrast. So I think we pitched this idea, and you guys did a write-up about it at the time. I'm very grateful for that. A great article on it. But the main thing on this was, I think we went from idea and presentation to it being finished and out on their socials probably in 7 or 8 days.
Good
which
Lord.
is a super quick turnaround. Because ultimately it's audio and footage that they have. And they had, there was a great editor they were working with. We worked with her. We went and recorded all of these conversations here in Franklin at the factory, which is this kind of district, sort of like fun little district down here. A lot of foot traffic, just interviewing people, kids, adults, what are you doing? Labor Day's coming up. What are your plans? And they just said what they were up to. And we edited that together with the existing footage, a little bit of background music. And it's just really simple idea, well executed, and that turned out to be Nashville's best of show this year. So it's great to see just a very pure idea winning the top honors. There wasn't a shoot for that. That was existing footage,
right.
Some huge expense, but just the idea resonated with the jury.
Yeah, resonated with that. How did it do for the client? I mean, they must have loved it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, that's brand awareness. It's not the kind of thing where you put that out and all of a sudden there's millions of dollars of donations. But that's what they need to be doing. They need to be constantly top of mind. And it got a lot of great, reactions online, likes, shares, that kind of thing, which is what they wanted. And it was a Labor Day piece. So it's not a thing that they ran forever and ever. It was timely. Right. It was in the few days before Labor Day. So it just hit a nerve. And I've had people say, man, like that's my favorite thing you guys have made, because it was just the right time, right message. And if you can just leave somebody with a lasting impression, if you haven't thought much about the water crisis, it sort of seems like it's far away. It's not, we don't have that issue here. We can turn on the tap. You're probably 15 seconds from a glass of water right now, Kyle, as opposed to 5 hours of trekking through dangerous, areas. So I think the impact it makes for the issue as a whole is effective. So.
Yeah, it's very, very effective messaging, and of course, you can use it at least once a year. So that's another plus. Let's go back to the vaulted work. It drove a 200% increase in signups and trade volume. How important is it to connect creative ambition directly to those business metrics?
It's pretty essential, especially for that company. I mean, they're not a huge brand. One of their competitors is Robinhood Gold, who outspends them in media 50x, 50x. I mean, so any sort of sustained investment in marketing, live action shoots, regular work, everything we're doing for them, social, email, all the pieces is an investment, and they need to tie that back to results. So we have to keep that in mind. So while we do some of the bigger, shinier bits of work for them, we do do work on the rest of the funnel and make sure that we're pulling people through. And I think, as a creative who's been at bigger brand shops and had those big fun briefs, I think it's been interesting having my own agency and getting into the weeds on some of those mid and lower funnel pieces and understanding more of that, retargeting ads, email, some of the other social stuff that is really essential in like nurturing is what you hear, nurturing a customer and the customer journey. So we do a lot of that. We've got some great people. Tim Anderson, head of strategy, knows a lot about that stuff. You can't ignore it. You can't just put a big fun ad out, send it to an award show and just celebrate that. We really have to make sure that we're following through with a client like McIlvaney.
Right. And well, you mentioned Tim. You and Tim bring like over 50 years combined for work for global agencies. So how does that big agency experience translate into running in indie? And like, what do you bring from there, and what do you not bring from there? What do you try to forget too from the network times?
Yeah. I think the education on those bigger brands was has been crucial. Even if we're working on smaller brands, I think we just go about the process in a way that leads to setting up great and effective work. What I've noticed in a smaller market like Nashville is you'll have production companies that will work with clients and they'll go straight to producing something. Oh, you need a video. We're going to make you a video. But then what they make looks great, but is it really strategically insightful? Has it found the right space yet in the market? You can make something that looks fantastic, but was that the right thing to make? So I think bringing the understanding of strategy and what makes for a great idea and executing it well to this market has paid off really well. What I'm happy to send to the rearview mirror, I think, is just the rounds that we used to have at the bigger agencies. Just sort of 15 versions of the deck, having lots of great meetings but not making anything. So I think this is super exciting for me in this stage where we're a small, nimble team. We're working with clients that want great stuff and they want to get on with it. I think we made 3 or 4 integrated campaigns last year and a bunch of smaller things, and that wasn't the cadence of work that I was routinely doing at other agencies. You work 6 months on something, then it might just die. And all right, that's half a year gone, or here's the one ad and it didn't turn out that well. It's like, well, there's the whole year and you just work weekends and nights and whatever. So I love the moment that we're in. I think it's a really great time for indies. There's all the tools now. That was live action and for those examples, but like I said, we used AI on another Chatterwater spot and an LED wall for another campaign. The tools are all there. The people in this town, there's a lot of great talent here. A lot of talent has moved to Nashville. Anything's possible, really. And I think the one thing I would say is, because we're small and figuring it out, I think we have this opportunity to create the blueprint for ourselves. We don't have to right a ship that's gone off, and now we've got to right the ship and figure it out. And even some agencies in Nashville have 75, 100, 120 people trying to figure out how to right the ship. We're so small, we can just build this thing the way it needs to be built from the start. So what we're doing a lot of now is trying to work out what's the best fit for client. What do they need from us? How should we be structured to meet their needs? And I think, and I know we're coming up to time, but I'm seeing a lot of production folks who are pivoting from traditional production into creative technology. We've got proactive ideas that we can now build and code and present. Say, hey, this thing is finished. Would you like to run it? That is just incredibly exciting for where we're standing. And I know a lot of other indies looking at that too. So,
well, a lot of indies are going to look up to you and say, wow, that back-to-back wins is incredible. And you guys really have hit it out of the park, and congratulations. And yes, and Nashville is a special place. We've met plenty of the people when we were there, and there are some great agencies there, and you all seem to really support each other and work together. So kudos to you. Kudos for your 2 wins. And thanks for joining us, Alex Goulart from Kite. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much. It was really a pleasure. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.
See you.